So, I was talking to your grandmother tonight on the phone, and she was telling me about a story where she went into the grocery store and this lady, like, was just super mean to her, gave her back the wrong change. When your grandma, told her about it, the woman got upset and kind of like stormed around or whatever. And then, of course, mom was like, hey, we're not going to have this. Like, you're not going to treat me that way. And then the woman apologized and said, she had just had somebody pass and stuff. And, of course, mom was like, I'm really sorry that happened, but you work in a public place. You're not going to treat me that way. Blah, blah, blah. And your grandma was totally right in doing that. I mean, she told her politely, and all that. So, but it brought up, something I was thinking about, like, sometimes in life, son, well, a lot of times in life, son, I'm not gonna BS you. A lot of times in life, people are not going to treat us in the way that we expect them to, or in a way that's even nice. Sometimes people do it on purpose, not knowing the underlying reason that they do it. And sometimes they do it on accident, And like your grandma said, it's not right that happens. But you always want to try and keep in mind, too, that we don't know what somebody else is going through. So don't be quick to judge others. Actually, you shouldn't judge others at all. And you shouldn't have expectations of others. But you should always have an expectation on how you expect to be treated, or what you allow and what your boundaries are and stuff like that. But, and it's always a fine line. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's not always something that everybody always gets right, but just try and keep in mind that people's got stuff that they're going through too. This doesn't give them the right to treat you in a bad way, and so what your grandma done was right. So that's not what I'm not saying that was wrong. So don't misunderstand me there. But I guess mainly what I want to say too with that is that when that happens, a lot of times we allow that to bother us in such a way that we can, if we're not careful, begin to believe that we deserve to be treated in that way, and that's not true. And we can let what others think about us, what others say about us, to affect us and convince ourselves that or take on that belief. And I don't want you to ever do that. Always remember that when you encounter somebody and there's a confrontation of whatever kind, okay, it's that confrontation is never about you, son. That confrontation is always going to be about them. And the same goes for us when we lash out at people. Sometimes, you know what I mean, and lose our cool. It really doesn't have anything to do with the other person. It's got to do with ourselves, something that is bothering us. And instead of addressing that, we tend to take that out on other people. And it's not right. But it's, and it happens, we all do it sometimes. But just and whenever it does, just correct the issue. Don't like get so hard on yourself that you start putting yourself down, because you should never do that. You come into this world perfect, and deserving of everything, and it will always be that way. It will never be any different, ever. So if you remember anything, remember that you are deserving, you are beautiful, and you are perfect, and that's just it. you know um yeah, we're always deserving. Everybody's deserving to be happy in life. Everybody, you know. And I think that's probably what, it's probably a good example of God's unconditional love, is that even though we fuck up, or shoot, even though that we make mistakes, okay, we can't constantly, be down on people for it, and we can't be down on ourselves, because we all deserve to be happy, and every moment is a new moment. Now, does that mean you've got to continue to take crap from somebody? Absolutely not. You don't have to take crap from somebody, but you don't really have to be mean to them either. Like, you can, be stern and be firm and stand your ground, but you can do it in a very, refined, educated way. You know what I mean? And then just don't just don't put yourself in that situation anymore. Just, separate those people from you, because you don't need negativity. You don't need people bringing you down all the time, because the energy's, catchable. Excuse me. Nobody wants to have to constantly try to transmute energy. But at the same time, remember that everything without is comes from within. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you're having a confrontation with somebody, or lots of people around about the same thing, like you find yourself in a position where people are treating you a particular way, or saying something that's really bothering you, it's a great opportunity to stop. And whenever you get by yourself, and you do need to get by yourself to be able to think about it, and just think and be like, okay, well, what is it that what is it that I need to address? Because people can be a reflection of not so much of ourselves, but of stuff that we need to address. So that could be an issue that, let's see a good example. Okay, here's a good one. So for the longest time, I would pick men who, I was attracted to men who were, I wouldn't say broken, but who had low self-esteem, or thought there was something wrong with them, right? And then, and of course the relationship would never work out. And then I got to think, I was like, why do I keep attracting that? And it's hard to look at, but then I realized, okay, well, I'm attracting that because there's a part of me that obviously feels broken somewhere. And of course, at first you don't want to acknowledge that. You just there's nothing wrong with me. But that's really an ignorant way to look at it, So I got to looking at it a little bit harder and a little bit deeper. And I'm like, there is. I mean, that's exactly true. Of course, after your dad took off with you and stuff, and all of that, I began to believe that there was something wrong with me, and that I wasn't deserving, or that I was broken, or that I didn't deserve to be happy, or I didn't deserve anything because of that. And so that was really, really hard for me, and it took a lot to figure that out, because of course I carried around this hate inside for myself, and until I addressed that, I couldn't, there was no way I would have found a relationship, feeling that way about myself. So, I finally got to address that, and so I don't have that issue anymore. Um, Granted, no, I don't have a relationship right now, but that's okay. I mean, I haven't had one for a while, and I'm cool with that. Now I did, as a matter of fact, after I made the one video, I was like, I could still, I still get a man. Sure as crap, one came knocking on my door. So, yeah, he was only like in his 30s, but really, really, really nice guy and stuff. But I'm not ready. For that, actually, it was like a breaking an old cycle. So, it was nice for a minute, but I choose to stay single because I'm waiting. Just haven't met the right one yet. You know what I mean? I know that it's coming, and if it doesn't, because okay, so like I am super picky, son. I'm a Scorpio rising, so, and a Cancer sun and a Gemini moon, so I'm like, I'm like very, very picky. I have an idea in my head of what I want, and it's an expectation of what I want, not an expectation of what let's see, how does that even go, really? Like, I have a standard on how I want to be treated. I do not have an expectation on people as in like they should be doing certain things, right? So, but I'm well aware of what I do want. So until I do find that, I just simply choose not to be in a relationship. It does kind of suck because I'm one that I don't like dating really either. So I used to whenever I was younger, I did, but I don't anymore. Because I'm really like on my spiritual path, and really like if I've got to have someone that is on the same level too, because like if I can't have a relationship that isn't like ascended and like on a spiritual level and like on a mind level and someone I can grow with and all that kind of stuff, then I just really ain't got time for it because I can do bad on my own. But yeah, and so yeah, with that too. So don't look outside of yourself for validation. So like little girlfriends and stuff, don't even worry about that. I mean, have girlfriends and stuff. I mean, I totally get that, but don't get your don't let it not working out or a breakup bring you down or make you feel like or lower your self-worth, because it's so not true. Because you've got to have Mr. Wrong and Mr. Right, or you gotta have Mr. or Mrs. Wrong, yeah, so that you can be Mr. Right or Mrs. Right for the one that you're supposed to be. Now, I know that a lot of people don't believe, well, some people like are into more than one person or relationship, like they have many girlfriends or whatever, and that's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. To each their own, you know what I mean? It's their life. So whatever makes them happy, by all means, go and do it. For me, though, I am still the like I'm looking for the masculine me outside of me, which is a big thing to strive for. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but we'll find out. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. So, yeah, that's just me. So, and yeah, and whatever your preference is, like, I don't even know, but know that I always love you and it doesn't matter to me. I can't give 2 cents. I support you in whatever you do. So, yeah. I'm one of those mothers, I might be smacking somebody else around if they hurt my baby. I know I shouldn't be, but I'm not gonna lie. That might happen. Alright. I'll get off here. Good night, son.